Well, hello, everyone. Blessings, greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Laurie and Spanya of lauriespagna.com, and thank you so much for joining me today and for tuning in to learn more about our magical, mystical, sacred Mount Shasta retreat. I'm really excited about this retreat and really excited to share with you all of the details about this retreat to help you in making a decision if you would like to join us. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting and fun retreats I've ever led. And I've been leading retreats for quite a while. So let's get into it. And thank you again for joining me today. You should be able to hear just about everything you need to know, I hope, to be able to make a decision to move forward and join us on this magical, mystical Mount Shasta sacred retreat. So first and foremost are the dates. The date of the upcoming 2022 retreat, it begins on Thursday, July 14th, and it goes until Monday, July 19th. And there's an optional extra extension for those who want to stay on for. The extension part is a little more social. It's all very social, but it also adds a degree of socialness to it. And that's from Monday, July 19th through Wednesday, July 21st. Now, every one of the slides should have a link that you can click directly on the slide presentation and get right to the website to where you can register and also get more information. But we'll go through this together. So we're talking about 5 days and 4 nights in magical, mystical, sacred Mount Shasta, California. And the extension is for an additional 3 days and 2 nights. And of course, the link is there and it's linked on every web page, on every one of the pages of the presentation. But you can go to lauriespagna.com and look under the live events tab and you'll see the link for the magical, mystical Mount Shasta sacred retreat. So before we get underway, let me just share with you, for those of you who might not know me, a little bit about me. And as I mentioned, my name is Laurie Ann Spanya, and I'm a best-selling author, a speaker, a spiritual catalyst, an ascension guide, an intuitive, a multidimensional channel, an animal communicator, an energy healer, a light worker, a starseed, a DNA activator, a visionary luminary. I've transformed the lives of thousands of humans and animals via my channeled ascension guidance, intuition, energy healing, animal communication, channeling, etc. It's really all about supporting and assisting others as you all awaken through your journey. And it was really catalyzed through an experience over 20 years ago when my brother transitioned to the non-physical through a death experience, right? And also following series of near-death experiences that I had while living in Maui. And then ultimately there was a first contact on ship experience that I had. So I was teletransported on ship, and my energy field, my bioenergy field, and all my DNA and all my wiring was upgraded, significantly upgraded, so that I could bring forward frequencies, light transmissions, healing energy, DNA activations for others. And that's what I do now. I do all these activations, healings, clearings, transmissions, guidance, and channeled information to facilitate other people and animals through their awakening journey. And overall, really what it's all about is just helping people and animals to up-level and align with your multidimensional avatar self. And we go way beyond 5th dimension so that you can unify with your divine source and ultimately, ideally, all along the path, all along the way, be readily, steadily improving the quality of your life in all areas of life. And this, to me, is what we need on Earth right now. It's the most important thing we can do, is to be up-leveling our frequency, our consciousness, our vibration, our energy fields, our bioenergy field, transforming our unconscious, becoming more conscious, and improving the quality of life for all of humanity. So that's what I do. And I hope that really makes a difference. My goal and mission is to really facilitate global healing and transformation for all of humanity. And this is a photo of me, my first visit to Mount Shasta. And I just want to say I love Mount Shasta. When I first went to Mount Shasta a year ago for the first time, I fell in love from the moment I got there. I just was in love with life. And I think that that's the energy of Mount Shasta in general. But we'll get into that. So this retreat, I am basically calling this forward for all members of what I call the Indigo family tribe. If you're listening, you are likely a member of the Indigo family tribe. If you resonate as a light worker, a starseed, a way shower, an earth seed, a healer, an intuitive, an empath, a highly sensitive being, an angelic divine human, an earth angel, a spiritually minded animal lover, like you're my tribe. A diehard spiritual seeker, a personal growth junkie. That's all those descriptions are me. Those are the people I love to work with. And if that fits you, a wanderlust adventurer, a nature lover, a cosmic visionary, a believer in magic and miracles from across the globe and the galaxy, the universe and beyond, you are my tribe. And that is how we define. Those are the languaging of the Indigo family tribe. So if that's you, this is an invitation to you. So you're receiving a divine calling. And in reality, beings of the Indigo family tribes are receiving divine callings more and more to the sacred centers of Earth, the sacred energy vortex locations, and to various locations around the Earth to come together in community where we grow stronger, where we brighten our light, where we amplify our light, and we get stronger in our sacred communities. So we've been getting these divine callings. And if you're resonating with this, you are right now receiving a divine calling. And these divine callings are, again, they're bringing us to sacred energy centers. In this case, Mount Shasta is one of them. And these divine callings are really cosmic awakenings for humanity. When beings who are carrying a lot of light and codes in our dormant DNA come together, primordial source energies, consciousness activates and amplifies in us, and it awakens, and we anchor it in. And as we anchor it in, physically anchor it into the physical body, our physical bodies, we amplify the light and the consciousness, and we elevate the vibration for all of humanity by anchoring it in through our fields, through our energy fields. And this is why we're having these callings. And basically the calling really is to reconnect with absolute, undiluted, unconditional love. The love that we are, the love that we embody, and the love that we came here to reclaim and remember. Because it is the love that we are. We are love embodied, each and every one of us. And we are helping humanity to remember it in themselves. So if you're resonating with this, you are receiving the divine calling to Mount Shasta. And this is going to be a spectacular awakening and a rekindling, a reunion with primordial source connection. And when I use the word primordial, I'm referring to undiluted from human interpretation and undiluted from energies or frequencies that interfere. It's pure, absolute, undiluted, unconditional love. And really, these are the frequencies that elevate our frequency and that unites our tribe, our community. And as we unite, we embody more of this. So this is the divine calling, and this Mount Shasta retreat, to me, it's going to be just the experience of a lifetime. And I'll just say, I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Mount Shasta is a multi-dimensional vortex with multiple energetic gateways. And this vortex energy amplifies the intensity of the energy that it is, of this vortex energy. The Shasta energy is a vortex of love. And the vortexes work by amplifying and intensifying. And the gateways are basically energetic doorways where we can really step into energetically and align with our multi-dimensional self and our true divine source, and start to really amplify the frequencies of love that we are, including the aspects of our light bodies, which really is high vibrational light, which we refer to as the rainbow light bodies. And this light is unseen in the regular spectrum of light. But as we amplify this light in us, our bodies are transforming in really, really magical, mystical ways. And so, needless to say, it feels so good. And I want to say I've had the blessing, the gift of spending extended amounts of time on multiple different vortexes of the earth. I lived in Mount Shasta for a year, and that's a kind of vortex that has a kind of masculine energy push-pull. So, when you live there, you sort of very often feel like you're going through the washing machine. And then when you kind of come out, you're like, oh, I feel so much better. But like a lot of the time you're in a spin cycle. You're spinning. And it's a great place for healing. It's a really great place to do healing, but it's not always the most enjoyable vibration. And I also spent 2 years living on the vortex of Maui in Haleakala at the mountain there. That is an incredibly powerful vortex. And it has the effect of really accelerating your journey and amplifying and accelerating things, intensifying things as well. All vortexes have that ability and do that. But it can be very harsh. It can be extremely harsh because it does sort of force you to up level. It's not a graceful kind of vortex energy. Shasta is incredibly graceful. You wouldn't necessarily know it because it is a mountain and there is a volcano there, but the energy of itself it's just asking you to be love and to be in the state of love. And if you are, it is so graceful and just most beautiful. And this is why I love, love, love Mount Shasta. And I feel like I was called there on purpose to be able to do this work and to bring people here and to help facilitate awakening for others. So yeah, you're being cordially invited, and I am lovingly cordially inviting you to Magical Mystical Mount Shasta for what I believe will be the retreat experience of a lifetime. And this experience really is going to be bringing us into greater alignment and attunement and deeper connection with really your own internal, infinite, omnipresent source. Right now, so many people are looking outside of themselves for solutions. They're looking outside of themselves for answers. And they also look outside of themselves to find the problems in their lives. And I will tell you that everything is within you, all of it, the solutions and the cause and solutions of your own problems, your own challenges, and of course, all of the opportunities to transform those, finding solution within yourself. This is what we're talking about when we talk about alignment and attunement to your internal source. And that source is a source of love. And we're talking about greater embodiment with your own higher self, greater connection with your own higher self and your own eternal ever being that has eternally existed and has all answers and solutions for all time and space. It has the solutions to all your healing issues, to all emotional upset, all mental, mental overthinking, monkey mind, etc. It has solutions to all relationship-related issues. So we're talking about really reconnecting with your eternal ever being and providing for you a deeper, richer connection as well to your own divine team and your own personal collective in the non-physical. That includes your guides, your guardians, of light, your angels, your ascended masters, your benevolent star family members, the star family races that are linked to you in future time, that will help you to evolve into the being you are becoming. And these benevolent beings in the non-physical are your divine team that are waiting for you to connect with them. And they live energetically on pure higher frequencies of light. And as you make that connection with them and strengthen the connection with them and build a deeper connection, they are available to you all the time to facilitate your journey, your awakening, and to assist you in improving the quality of your life and those you love as well. Because let's face it, you're a light worker. However you define yourself, a healer, an intuitive, an astrologer, an animal communicator, an energy worker, whatever languaging you use, you're here to improve the life of others on Earth. And a lot of them won't let you, but when you start working with your divine team, you are capable of so much more than you even realize. Like, there's just so much power and potency within you to facilitate change for the better on Earth and in your own life, improving the quality of life. Yeah, and also, of course, we'll be doing lots and lots of light transmissions, energy healing, and sacred, soul star activations. And that's reconnecting you with your own soul family, your own eternal ever being, your own divine team. So some of the other things you'll be experiencing as well when you join us is just an up-leveling to your next highest harmonic, which is basically an increasing of your vibration. We're steadily increasing our vibration and shifting moment to moment into higher dimensional frequencies and up-leveling into the new paradigm of Earth, which is, we call it fifth dimensional reality, but we definitely keep going way beyond 5D. Right? 5D is a physical, energetic space of bridging the physical and the non-physical and connecting and working in harmony with the physical and the non-physical. And then we go way beyond to connect with non-physical dimensions, way beyond fifth dimension. And if these terms are new to you, you will walk away knowing them. You will understand it all, because it is an intensive, but it's so easy really to receive it when you're in this immersion, right? You'll also experience the expansion of your own multidimensional self, because that's part of it. And you'll start really reconnecting with the multidimensional aspects of who you are, which includes your avatar self that exists, your master self, your Christos Sophia, that's your divine masculine and your divine feminine, and the sacredness of who you are. You will be reawakening those aspects of yourself, including your light body, your radiant body, your rishi body. And again, these are terms of your own divine mastery. So if you're not totally familiar with them, that's okay. You will know those versions of yourself. You will also really be energetically and vibrationally aligning. We talked about that. And you'll become really more authentically you. No more of this self-silencing or playing small for others or being a peacemaker or a pleaser. You'll get out of that, because you'll start stepping into your greatness, your power to authentically be you and walk an authentic path. You won't be hiding out in the spiritual closet anymore, because when you're around community and tribe where it's safe to be you, to be the real you, and you can see how you are loved and accepted the way you are, and that everybody else wants that too, and so we create that sacred space, you are going to be able to live this in your life even after the retreat is done. It's not like you come out of the closet and then, for the retreat, and then you go home and you go back into the closet, the spiritual closet, right? No, you just step into the greatness of who you are, and you start living that authentically with no shame, no fear of rejection, no sense of feeling small or having to play small. It's amazing. You will also experience more unification with these higher frequencies and vibrations of unconditional love and the purest primordial light. Like, what would it feel to you if you could live your life in a vibrational state of just being and feeling blissed out? Like, just walking around feeling great and knowing how to activate that energy in yourself with a matter of breaths. This is what we're talking about. In getting out of the monkey mind and the continuous self-doubt and self-worry and self-concern, all of that self-doubt and that uncertainty about your future, fear about your life and fear about your future, that stuff starts going away very quickly when you start understanding and activating this light in you. And really, you will be unlocking your own unique divine gifts, and you'll be able to celebrate yourself for the divinity that you are. And as you celebrate yourself, so will others around you. And you will experience that in these sacred circles and in our community. Because one thing I know from leading retreats now for over 10 years, I've been leading retreats. And I did retreats in the Bahamas for several years, swimming with dolphins. I did that for 3 or 4 years. And I've been doing crystal retreats for about 6 years in Arkansas. And I did a retreat actually last year in Sedona. And now this one will be the first one in Mount Shasta. All these years of doing retreats, one thing I really feel confident on is that I know how to set up sacred space. And I know how to make everyone in the group feel loved, appreciated, included, and important. And that's because that's the truth of who we are. Like, we all want that. And so in that space, we start to feel fully seen, heard, honored, accepted, appreciated, and valued by others. We feel it so much that we just shed so much of those old layers of false protection and personal censorship, where we had to squeeze into the box to live into that old paradigm of other people's expectations just to survive in the physical world, just to get along, you know? And you will feel so much more loved and accepted, seen and honored and appreciated and approved of just the way you are, without even having to change for anyone. And the most amazing part of it is, as you feel that way, you will also really recognize that you're being real. It's maybe perhaps for some of you the first time that you've actually been able to be real with people and be accepted exactly as you are and loved exactly as you are, and to feel so loved and accepted and appreciated exactly as you are without any smoke screens. This is one of the most fabulous things about what you will experience in it. Like I said, I've been leading retreats for 10 years. This is what everybody experiences over and over and over again consistently. So it's so beautiful, right? And you'll feel so supported too by the conscious community of others, and by the very personalized attention and support you receive by community, by me, and also by my team. And you'll have really on top of that just fun adventures, reconnecting with Mother Earth, Gaia Sophia, the nature kingdom, the crystalline realm, the elementals, and the magical mystical realms, including all things magical and mystical. And just through our adventurous connection in our community and this nature realm and all these mystical realms, you'll discover all these other aspects of the unknown world that has been formerly unknown to most of humanity. And we'll be doing this also on a lot of sacred sites, right? Sacred sites in Mount Shasta. And just a couple other things that I can tell you for sure. You will feel just so much gratitude in your heart for the opportunity to receive so much healing and blessings, both from the land itself. It's just water in Shasta. And then while you're doing that, you'll be making lasting memories that you will always treasure. You'll have so much gratitude in your heart. You will be welcoming in this opportunity. Like, you will be like, just what happens when people come on these retreats is they're just so excited to clear and heal and effortlessly resolve and transmute parts of their lives and themselves that have just been out of balance with their happiness and joy, and seeing the gifts of their experiences so that they no longer have to carry them around as burdens. That's what happens. And you will have that experience too. And you'll be aligning with your most benevolent best trajectory, which means you'll start creating your future in a conscious way based on energy, intention, vibration, and who you are becoming. So you'll be aligning with a much more benevolent trajectory. And the trajectory means like your future, where you're going, your day-to-day life, how it will improve. And of course, you'll be living and embodying more of your most vibrant self. Like, this stuff is amazing because it's such an immersion that, because we're spending basically all of our waking time together for the most part. It's just that immersion really brings out your most vibrant self. And the community that I call together, like, we are all so genuine and sincere. And the sacred connection is just, it's lifetime friendships with Soul Tribe, lasting friendships. And of course, we have a private Facebook group for all my retreats. And it's going to be like really an unforgettable week of truly incredible and spectacular personal transformation. And so, you want to ask yourself, are you ready for something, to receive something so great? Are you ready? Together we align, we unify, rise, and up level. And I mentioned this earlier, if you're feeling the calling, it's on purpose. Because lightworkers like us, Starseeds, we're members of the Indigo family tribe, however you identify, spiritually minded, animal lovers, however you identify, a sensitive, an empath, someone who just really wants to foster deeper connection, we are being called. Because when we come together, we grow. We grow our strength, our light, and our connection with our source, and the light is getting stronger on earth. This is what's happening. And if you're one of those people who doesn't see that the light is getting stronger, then this is the kind of community you want to join, because this is where you start realizing the light is getting stronger on earth, and the miracles that we're experiencing in our everyday lives is getting more powerful. Last night I was looking at some jewelry on Etsy, and it was like Celtic jewelry. And this morning I was like going to buy a bracelet, like a Celtic jewelry bracelet, just because I like it. And an hour later, I went out for a dog walk, to walk my dog. And I'm walking down like this sort of little quiet little community street. And this truck drives past me. And on the side of it says Celtic Designs for Your Home and Living. And I thought, like, that is a manifestation in less than an hour. And the reason you start manifesting that fast is because your vibration raises and you up level. So you have the ability to create your life like real time, that fast, as your vibration levels up. And then you start really seeing magic and miracles. You're like, I created that. I did that. You start seeing that in your life. Because we do focus on this. Most people don't realize that we're really creating our reality right now. We are all creating our reality. So what I'm asking you to do is to step into a brand new energetic paradigm and enter your own portal of love, where you up level to your next highest and best harmonic expression, where you're vibrating at an entirely new frequency, and you are creating. Like, I knew when that Celtic truck went by, I was like, that's because of what I was paying attention to. Now, I didn't do the Celtic truck on purpose, but I can apply the same concept very easily in my life now to create that which I desire. I can look at something, see something, choose it, intend it, and have it show up in my reality very quickly. You will learn how to as well. In the energies of Mount Shasta, the Stargate that has such deep, rich, profound spiritual legacy, it's really going to help you to amplify that sacred potential within you. Okay. So we're talking about embodying your higher self and activating your heart center. By the way, everything, your physical body your heart center is your gateway energetically in the physical form. It's your portal into your own multidimensional self. And as you open and access this portal and fully, authentically align with your divinity through your heart center, this is where you wake up the master in you, right? So this is like a cosmic gateway of remembrance, right? And Shasta's holding this space for you, really. The mountain, the volcano, the vortex energies, it's really there for you, all of us light bearers, all of us way showers and earth seeds and earth angels and angelic divine humans. It's a space energetically that was placed on earth for those who want to remember, and those who want to reclaim our divinity can go there in these amplified energies to re-embody not only our higher selves, to go through our own portal, through our own heart center and the portal, cosmic gateway of Shasta, in this case, to reclaim that true divinity that we are. And I already talked about how it really is basically vibrating to the frequency of love. Many people know that Mount Shasta is known as the root chakra of Mother Earth, and root chakra is really at its highest vibration. It is your divine plan, right? The root chakra, when it's activated in its fullest potential, right? Old paradigm, 3D root chakra is just like your survival, right? Survival issues. That's why, like, for example, when COVID happened, for example, and people were afraid of their own survival, what their root chakra was basically being activated. And so on an unconscious level, they're all going for toilet paper, right? Because that's the root chakra, the base and below. So, but in the highest expression, when it's really activated and awakened into the divine, it's like, your journey, your mission, your purpose, your reason for being here. And your path, your trajectory, and you're aligned with that frequency. So it unfolds and reveals itself to you. So that's one of the things that Mount Shasta is so great at facilitating for people just by being there. So it really is a unique and spectacular opportunity to step into this brand new energetic expression of you and really align with your next highest and most benevolent, best harmonic. And again, I can't emphasize this enough, but it's really about attuning your bioenergy field to these new vortexes and up-leveling your vibration so that you can be in harmony with the higher frequencies that are not only coming into the earth, but that Earth, Gaia Sophia, is basically requiring of us, because she is ascending. She's moving on. She is doing already, what we call cleansing. Right? She's cleansing, and we're cleansing with her. And we're cleansing our old paradigm. We're cleansing all our old belief systems and our old perceptions, our old energies. We're cleansing everything associated with fear and anxiety and worry and smallness and meekness and littleness and not enough, not good enoughness. We're cleansing all this old aspects of shame and everything that's held us back. And so Shasta is, again, one of those places to really help us with that. And this is really how we become, through our own cleansing, we're making our lives better so that it's not forced upon us through some kind of mass experience such as COVID, for example. The other thing I want to say too is we're really talking about restoring balance and harmony within. It is profound personal growth, and it is a new kind of just inner peace of mind, and just peace in your energy field. It's balance of the physical and emotional and mental body. This is what happens on these retreats and on these vortexes, and in this company of our community that where we're creating this. And again, this is one of the great gifts I think that I bring through as a starseed, as a light worker, as a healer, as someone who's been devoting myself to this for an entire lifetime, and as someone who has really discovered these kinds of secrets for myself. And now I'm really here just sharing them so much. Like, that's my joy, to really share them with others. People like you who are also hungry and thirsty for this, and who feel called to this kind of work. And of course, like, the nature just does it naturally, right? The nature realms, the plants, the minerals, the animals, they're talking to us. They're available to us, and they have so much to share and offer, but it's up to us to be willing to receive and open up to it. So this is for you. If this sounds like you, if you're really ready to step into an entirely new level of your highest and most benevolent best, and the best version of yourself, to connect more deeply with the Davic realms, the angelics, the angel gods, ascended masters, the crystalline kingdom, and the people of Telos. I used to think that the people of Telos, and if you're not familiar with them, those are the beings who live like in the inner earth under the area known as Mount Shasta. There's a lot of inner earth beings. There's the Agartha network and many inner earth beings, but the Telosians are very active with people who are on the terra, the ground of Gaia in the Shasta area. And that's where I first came into contact with the Telosians. I did like incredible channeling with them that I had never even made the connection with them before. And they're just so accessible to us. And the other thing that's amazing about the retreat is all the self-care and self-love you're going to develop and cultivate for yourself too, because there's just so much opportunity for really immersing yourself in this kind of dynamic self-love, self-care, self-nurturing. And you take that home with you. That doesn't just leave you, that stays with you. And as you're aligning your natural inner rhythm to Gaia Sophia, you're finding so much more harmony within, and this is where you start to develop your own original magic, to uncover and reveal your inner truth and your peace, your clarity within. Like, you become so much clearer within yourself about who you are, what you're doing here, and how you're going to use this, all this clarity. And you become way better at discerning too, especially when you're around me. Your discernment will amplify your ability to see more clearly and perceive more clearly as well. Because once you start being around high vibrational energy, it gets a lot harder to get deceived by what we call the false lights. You can start knowing, like, I have a comparison now to what really is high, clear, pure. And anything else is just a false light after that, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to pause just to take a sip of my water. But you'll also learn a lot more about reclaiming your sovereignty, really being in, free and in divine control of your personal life, regardless of what is going on in the external physical reality, and regardless of the human drama, especially the drama in the third dimensional reality. You will start to realize, like, I'm not interested in that drama. I'm not interested in creating that in my life. I'm not interested in having that in my life. I'm interested in a whole new paradigm. And you will naturally just start dropping off stuff that's just not aligned with who you are, with your vibration and who you're becoming. And it starts to drop out of your life because you no longer harmonize with that old paradigm stuff. And it happens so effortlessly, so gracefully, and so beautifully, because it's simply vibrational shifting. There's no pain involved. There's no suffering involved anymore. It's just grace, ease, and benevolence as you shift and up-level your paradigm. And also, especially too, as your core vibration, right? Your core vibration gets activated. Your life, your body, your being comes in so much more harmony. What's happening is inspiration is coming out of you. Gratitude, inspiration, optimism. These are frequencies of the new paradigm. Divine optimism, divine inspiration, divine glad expectation. So To me, I like the word glad expectation because you're not expecting with attachment. You're just gladly expecting with no attachment whatsoever. And that is how the magic gets revealed. And again, I mentioned this earlier, your ability to manifest and materialize your greatest desires amplifies because you come into more of your divine power to utilize pure source consciousness and the omnipresent field of all that is, the infinite omnipresent source that is within you. And as you do this, you feel more empowered to create and have the life you want, and you feel more joyous. So much more joyous because the energy of joy starts activating in you as you're clearing away the old densities. And again, in an intensive like this, a whole week retreat like this, it's a natural byproduct of what's going on. So you're walking your career, your relationships, your health, you're walking through your experience with so much more joy, and that joy is emanating from you, vibrating out of you, and reflecting back to you. And so your paradigm shifts as those vibrational changes happen. So it's and again, you significantly improve the quality of your life in all areas of life. You start experiencing heaven on earth through your unique holographic reality. It's really amazing. So if all this stuff is exciting to you, like, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. So a couple other things I just want to mention too. You know, if you're really ready to step into an entirely new level, then this retreat is for you. But it's so much more than a simple retreat. So much more than a retreat from your life for a week. It is that, of course. There is incredible personal transformation. It's that, and it's so much greater. What I want to say is that one thing I know is that after doing this work for so long, I am a notorious overgiver. I overdeliver. The value that you will receive is way beyond what I can verbally communicate in this short presentation. Yes, you'll build a tribe and community of supportive, loving friendships. You'll have intimate group gatherings and healing circles and meditations. You will know without a question in your mind how to access your theta brainwave easily. You will know how to effortlessly activate your third eye. You will know effortlessly how to open and clear your chakras. That alone is worth the price of admission. You will begin to really know how to do healing on yourself. You will have tools that you can take through all of life to utilize, fun, easy tools that will shift and transform your experience. And you will benefit from extremely progressive meditations, healings, and transmissions, Lightbody activations, and upgrades, like soul star energetic upgrades. And there'll be lots of moonlight magic too, sacred empowerment and healing circles and rituals. We love to do that. I love ritual. And I think that's just one of the things that the people who come on the retreats absolutely love. I've gotten so much feedback from that in the past, our different rituals that we do. And of course, you'll get lots of one-on-one support from me because that's the purpose of being involved in sacred community with someone like me. You'll get lots of divine wisdom and guidance and coaching. And I'm going to say I've spent most of my life searching for someone like me. I don't mean to sound arrogant. It's like so helpful to have somebody who can lovingly share, help you to see or perceive what maybe you haven't been able to see or perceive. And from a place like of positive upliftment for you, really supporting you as a brother or sister, on earth, and just being able to connect and commune. And we will connect with our star family races too. We'll do lots of stuff of nighttime, connecting with our star families and ships in the sky. They're all over Shasta. We'll do grid work, and we have lots of nature hikes. I'll get into this more as we go on. And of course, high vibe connection with conscious community. And there's lots of swimming there too. The pure lakes and the swimming holes and waterfalls, which we'll get into that more. You will be astounded. Gorgeous. And I mean, just so many benefits. We will be basking in the limitless adventure and soul family community during our magical, mystical Mount Shasta retreat. And really just so much benefit and transformation from these activations and healings. And, you know, we'll be definitely doing stargazing. I mentioned that, and ship gazing under the Palladian stellar gateway skies, the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, good. So we're reclaiming our eternal wisdom and the infinite love that your unique soul and your personal collective has experienced, right? You are an eternal being, right? So you've been experiencing this through an infinite amount of time, space, reality. But it's your time now to reclaim this. It's our time on Earth. That's why we're here. And it's so easy to get distracted with things like viruses and fear and war and drama on drama from the entertainers out there, the world entertainers, whether they're in some kind of courtroom or whether they're on some kind of award stage. It's all distraction. And that distraction keeps us limited in this old third paradigm. But this new paradigm has so much to offer, so much available to us that is so enriching and elegant and just incredible, that's going to reveal to us our inner compass and our great gifts, including our superhuman abilities and our authentic, selves and our connection with these divine beings we're talking about. But it's up to us to participate. So that's what this retreat is about. We're really talking about uncovering and healing who we are, healing and resolving those parts that have kept us in separation from who we truly are, dissolving the old aspects and resolving them, those blocks that we've perceived, and especially stuff we've held on for lifetimes. And all of this will happen in very loving and gentle and yet powerful and potent ways. It's effective, energetic support for those of you who really want to fast track your awakening journey and your ascension path. I don't really share this, but I personally feel like I am the living proof of how much this stuff works. And I don't know, this is the part I don't always share. It's like for a huge part of my life, I was in a huge amount of emotional pain. And the emotional pain was because I was so sensitive. And I just didn't really understand for so long how people could not just people, like the world could be so full of so much pain and suffering. And, people would share pain and suffering of what would happen to animals, and people would share pain and suffering of their own family dynamic, or, people would be cruel to each other. I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand. I guess this is part of being Starseed and a highly sensitive being. But that pain, I was so empathic, and it would take me a long time to address it, to resolve it, because I was discovering this in myself, how to do it for myself. And obviously, eventually, so that I could help others with it. But without the healing, I would have just mentally, spent my life mentally unpacking it. It's the energy healing that transforms it. You no longer have to carry it. You're free and liberated from it. And a lot of people kind of walk around the earth sort of feeling like, oh, life's really good. But most of the time, the people who are walking around like that, they either have extreme physical body weight issues, or perhaps some kind of physical health issue, or else they have extreme relationship issues, whether it's narcissistic parents or narcissistic siblings or abusive relationships of one kind or another, or else they have real monetary issues. You can be the most beautiful person in the world, full of love, but if you haven't worked through your monetary issues, your issues with money and wealth, if you're like waiting to make money or to have money, you're still living in a space of being disconnected from that energetic source of infinite supply. And that's usually connected to other lifetime stuff, not always, but often. And so when we can clear that out, that energetic, all that the unconscious layers of fear and anxiety, blocks, frustrations, limitations in any area of life, it goes away. It's healed, it's resolved, and then you start living a whole new way, and you're like, oh my God, this is I'm not the same person I was. And that's basically what I'm saying. You just realize you're not the same person you were. you are no longer stuck or small or uncertain, and you're just living in so much of a better way. And like I said, I am living proof of that. All right, living proof. So yeah, we do inner work. We do inner work, and the inner work is about receiving intensive healing and sacred activations and connecting with the expanse of the nature, the water, the lakes, all the different water, including the nature kingdom, and even the non-physical beings, including the inner earth beings, as I mentioned, the animal kingdom, etc., divine goddesses and ascended masters. I mean, they come in and they help, right? Because these are versions of us too. We are all one ultimately. And these beings come in because they have different energetics, different frequencies, and different vibrations to support us, because it really is about us all helping and supporting one another. So we do this inner work to make the change, right? Some people will ask me, it's very common, I get asked, like, how did the ascended masters become ascended masters? Or how did the angels become the angelics that they are? And people ask, like, how do I raise my vibration? How do I ascend? How do I get to 5D? How do I hear my guidance with more clarity? How do I have more of a dialogue with my team? How do I channel? I have a lot of people come to me. How do I channel? How do I communicate telepathically with my animals? How do I hear what my animal is saying? How do I develop and improve my divine gifts? How do I improve my ability to help others? How do I help my family who's not into this? Overall, how do I handle the fear of my future? How do I improve the relationship I have with God? Because I'm still mad at God because God did this to us. Like on and on and on. And all I can say is this is how. We come to these retreats, we immerse ourselves in an immersion experience, and we go all in. And we realize that this is a journey, right? It's a journey, but here's some of the reasons we do this inner work. And I was going to say, working with the higher realms and the multidimensional reality in divine source consciousness significantly and dramatically improves every area of life, period. I can't emphasize this enough. If you guys know my story, for those of you who don't know, I just say really quick, before I got on this path, before I got on this journey, I was drinking 6 to 8 beers a day. I was working in corporate America as a slave. I hated my job. I cried every night before I'd have to go to work. I was 60 pounds overweight. I was eating all kinds of unhealthy food, stuffing my feelings with food, emotional eating, comfort eating. My thyroid was completely off because I was constantly silencing myself. In corporate America, you have to silence yourself. You have to be politically correct. So when we shut ourselves off, our thyroid throat sensor gets shut down, right? My hair was falling out. Why? Your hair falls off because your crown chakra is where you feel connected to your source, right? Hair falls out when you start realizing, like, you start having unconscious, I was disconnected from my source, right? And overweight, I was overweight because I felt unsafe. I would work in corporate environments where the bosses would walk down the hall screaming curses at the employees. And it was just hostile environments, right? Lots of competition. It was so unpleasant. I was miserable, right? So all these things were happening to me, and spending. So I developed like 6 figures in credit card debt on junk, like clothes for work that are like, I don't even own them anymore, right? And of course, I was going to doctors because I was in 3D. So I went to therapists and doctors. I spent hours and hours and hours in Al-Anon and CODA and Codependence Anonymous and 12-step programs because my family, they were all, they had addiction issues. And I mean, I was developing those issues, excessive smoking. I was smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That habit started after college, by the way. Once I got into this miserable corporate America slave system, and I was overspending, over drinking. I couldn't get to sleep at night. I couldn't wake up in the morning. I would sleep under my desk at work. Just all kinds of bad habits, right? And they were just because I was trying to survive, and I'm trying to cope. And I will just say, as soon as I started doing this work, within fewer than 2 years, all of that was gone. Fewer than 2 years. So the cigarettes were gone forever. The alcohol was gone forever. The pharmaceutical drugs, I've not needed a single pharmaceutical or over-the-counter drug in over 20 years. My dogs haven't needed that either. I don't need a doctor. I don't go to doctors. I never need them. I haven't been on any drugs. My diet totally shifted in a natural and organic way to healthy food. Because, of course, when you start taking in more light, your body wants more light. What's light? Plants. You start eating more plants because that's what you want, more healthy light to photosynthesize the light that your body takes in, right? But my credit card debt was like evaporated in less than 2 years, 6 figures of credit card debt. I started practicing forgiveness, that was just one of the things I was being told. And I was getting letters of forgiveness from the banks. Can you believe that? Like I was forgiving the banks for their corrupt practices of what they do with the credit cards and how they scam people into debt slavery. And anyway, so what I'm saying is like the moment you start getting right with your path, things start getting better. And since then, my career has taken off. I love what I do. I get to work with so many high vibrational people like all of you. And I love everything I teach. My gifts have just, wow, off the charts. Communication, telepathy, energy healing, incredible psychic gifts, the ability to channel, activating DNA, so many things, connecting with my star family. Like these things are what happen to us when we start getting right with our path. These are the kinds of things. And by the way, like the money has totally shifted. Like I spent most of my life prior to this living in debt, and now I'm always living in the overflow. I'm always in the overflow. I get to donate so much of my money to animal charities and to other incredibly gifted spiritual beings, teachers and healers who are doing great work in the world, whose work I support and I admire and respect. So like I get to give so much because I'm living in the overflow. This is what happens to us. These are the reasons we do this inner work. It deepens and expands our connection with Source. It unifies us with our Source. We up-level. We raise our vibration. We awaken our dormant divine gifts and our unlimited potentials, our superhuman abilities, our superpowers. We begin to understand that there's an evolutionary shift, and it behooves us to evolve. We choose and align with this light. It's part of our who we realize who we are. And we're interested in activating and awakening more of our rainbow light body, becoming more of our avatar self, and connecting with our multidimensional aspects. This is why we do this work. And we do it because we want to fast track and accelerate our awakening journey. We know that it is for our most benevolent best. We don't feel like living in the old paradigm where the external world gets to dictate our reality. Oh, yeah, there's a global pandemic going on. Like when you're awakened, you're like, not in my paradigm. Not in my reality, there's not. Oh, you have to be afraid you might catch something. Not in my reality, you don't. Not in our reality. We don't. Other people around us may not understand it, but we get it. We start realizing we can change the weather. Like I play with the weather today. I'm like, I live in Florida. I'm like, I'm having wind today. I'm having rain today. I'm having this today. I'm having coolness this morning. Like really, you start realizing some of the mastery that you have the ability to do. It's amazing. And how it improves your life. We do it because we know we can improve the quality of our lives in all areas of life. And we know that our lives will significantly improve as a result of engaging in this way. And we also know that this will subsequently also improve the quality of lives for our loved ones and our animals because they're sharing our energy field. So when we improve and increase the quality of our lives, they benefit as well. And we understand that ultimately that will ripple out to the whole of humanity. We understand that as we raise our frequency and anchor in more light, by doing this kind of work, the whole of humanity benefits. And this list can go on and on. People change their lives. I had a woman who came on one of my crystal retreats. Actually, she came on many of my crystal retreats. Multiples of my retreats, and she still does DNA, many DNA activation calls. And she came to the first retreat, a slightly older woman. She was taking care of her mother for many, many years. in her mother's end of life stages. And she herself felt like, other than that, she had no reason for living anymore because she was just taking care of her elderly mother, you know. And after coming on the retreat, she started opening up her ability to work with crystals and her ability to do healing for the waters. And she was always afraid to travel, but the first retreat she came on with me, it was only like 3 hours from her home. So she felt like she could handle that drive. But after that, she started traveling around the country to places all over the world and using crystals in light language, which she developed her ability to do healing on the waters in different places of the earth. And she learned grid work, which I teach on all my retreats. And now that's what she does. Like, her life transformed. She went from feeling like she had no life and nothing to offer to feeling like she had so much to contribute, and her whole life changed. She's just one example. So this is why we do this work, right? It's really this kind of deep inner work that lovingly, gently, gracefully assists us in removing our blocks and old patterns that no longer serve us. And really, as we do this, it nurtures our spirit and allows us to align and up level with so much more grace and benevolence. So, okay. Yeah, so you will learn to utilize your gifts, you know, you will, because you have so many more gifts in you. You have incredible gifts. And your gifts may have to do with healing the waters or the earth. Your gifts may have to do with awakening song or vibration or some form of light language. Your gifts may be about healing, you know, the earth. Your gifts may be about healing other humans or animals. Your gifts may be just about healing yourself. Your gifts may be about some kind of significant contribution you're going to make. I have one of my students who came on a couple of the retreats, started realizing that she wanted to help clean up like the trash on the earth, and she started developing all these like protocols for how to do beach cleanup and different organizations of cleaning up the earth. And you know, these things start activating in you about your talents, your gifts, what you're here for, and you start seeing and perceiving yourself as so much more beautiful and valuable and significant. You are already, but as you awaken this, you start to realize how you're going to fully express your unique talents, value, power, beauty, significance, you know, in the world, in the physical world, because you start unlocking these hidden gifts, your innate value and worth that is innately within you, irrevocably within you. It's yours because you're here. And these gifts are just waiting to be unveiled and revealed, right? And you just need sacred space and safe space and community to bring that out. And you will be encouraged lovingly, and you will feel so safe where these kinds of, this just naturally expresses from you. So now is the time, you know, this is the time on planet Earth for you to really find these blocks within you that have been preventing you from being the greatness and from living your joyous self in everyday life, and really discovering how unique and valuable you really are, what you're here for, and how you're meant to reveal this and utilize it. So you're going to realize your uniqueness and your significance, and you're going to understand where you fit in and how you're an integral part, an essential part, and an essential part of the whole of humanity's existence. You will be embodying more of your true self and your unique expression, and you will be revealing that because it will be natural to you. It's innate. And you'd be opening up to new ways of living and expressing your gifts, your talents, your abilities, and cultivating the confidence, the inner drive and motivation and inspiration within you to really, truly follow your excitement at all times. And you won't be attached to outcomes in the same way. And you won't be hiding in any kind of spiritual closet, as I mentioned earlier. Simply put, you will never be the same again. You really won't. You're going to shift your energy. You're going to align with your life, with who you're meant to be at a soul level. You're going to tap into your innate wisdom. You're going to clearly hear the whispers of your own soul. You're going to raise your vibration and your frequency. You're going to be activating DNA. You're going to be tapping into that which is rightfully yours. And you're going to be getting into harmony with just not only the heartbeat of your own heart center, your heart chamber, but your own heart, the heartbeat of Mother Earth Gaia. You'll be living in harmony with guide. So as cleansing progresses on Earth, you're always going to be just fine. You really are. And that's going to, of course, just so improve your life and the lives of those you love as well. You're going to learn more about how to light up the world with your unique presence, with who you are. And you'll experience yourself and your personal reality opening up in ways that go above and beyond what you currently really realize is possible for you. Most humans just don't realize what is possible for you, the limitless potential that is available to you. You know, if you've been living in the world in the last 2 years where you felt like you had no choice about something, you had no choice about either taking a vax or a jab, or you had no choice about staying home, or you had no choice about a job that you had to take to make money, or you had no choice because your family pressured you. I have this in like so many Starseed or family friends and loved ones. They'll be like, well, Laurie, you don't have a family that you live with because you were on the road, and you were in places like Sedona, so you didn't get pressured the same way. And I'm like, you can blame it on the circumstances, or you can see the real truth of it. The reality that my life was reflected to me what I created because I was in my mastery. In other words, I didn't have family pressuring me, to get vaxes, jabs, masks, none of it, because that wasn't going on in my paradigm. Because I created a paradigm where I was empowered enough to live and experience my choice, what I was choosing. And you will experience yourself in your paradigm, whatever's good, right, and appropriate for you and your most benevolent best, opening up in ways that go above and beyond what you currently realize is possible for you. You will start stepping into your personal power. And you'll realize, the things that you've longed for and wished for will finally start to show up. My whole life, I wanted to be free. My whole life, I wanted to take a drive across country. I thought it was going to be for a year. It ended up being more like 2 years, but yeah, there was almost a year in there where I was grounded in Sedona. But that was a dream of mine, and it revealed itself to me. It just became part of my life gracefully over the past 2 years, right? This is what I mean. Your life will begin to be the reflection of your dreams fulfilled. Everything you've longed for and wished for. And you'll also, by the way, on the retreat, have time to finally slow down and be still long enough to know what that is. So you're getting in harmony with your natural rhythm and frequency. And if I haven't said it enough, you will be connecting with fellow Starseeds, Lightworkers, Wayshowers, Change Agents, Indigo family tribe members. I have said that already, but I just can't emphasize this enough. We'll make lifelong friendships. All of my retreats, people are still connected, still meeting up, still interacting on Facebook pages, still visiting each other, still traveling to see one another, still having friendships and gatherings and really nice bonds, incredible bonds. So I want to just go over some of the retreat activities. One of my favorite things is the sacred healing circles with the sound baths. You will immerse yourself. We have a sound bath, and you will love these light-infused crystal sound baths that we do, celestial sound healing ceremonies. And, of course, we do sacred circles. We do a lot of sacred circles. We do a lot of embodiment activations and lots of downloads. Love downloads. Why do we do downloads? Because they really expand our consciousness. We gain so much insight, perspective, and awareness. And they bring us way out of the left brain and the mind. We don't have to analyze things. We just start having knowings. That's what I love about downloads and activations. We do lots of sacred ritual, including one of my famous angeling ceremonies. People who have been on the retreats before know about those. And there's lots of channeling too. I'm a channeler, so I'm channeling from the higher realms and bringing in guidance and assistance from many of these ascended masters and divine goddesses, and I mentioned that already. Yeah, we talked about the divine downloads. They are one of the fastest and most effective ways to address, heal, and resolve issues, as well as to resolve unresolved karmic issues. And by the way, on this retreat, I do want to bring in more of the Akashic records, which I love the records, but I haven't incorporated that as much in some of my other retreats. I am planning to bring a lot more of that into this retreat. Yeah, and you'll get tons of support for your processing, you know, whatever you're working on, whatever you're looking for resolution on, whatever's uniquely appropriate for you, you'll get lots of support. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what my team is here for too. I have a great assistant who I'll be bringing, who has accompanied me on multiple retreats, and we work really well as a great team. So you'll get lots of support. We talked about energy activations and divine initiations and attunements. All of these things, you start really knowing what they are the more you participate in them. Like the more you're in them, there's so much greatness in them. And they're really designed to just bring out the divine luminosity and the radiant luminescence that we all are, right? You'll also learn about grid work, because grid work is a major component of working with energy vortexes and sacred vortexes, and it really helps. You know, when I started utilizing grid work many, many years ago, it was back when Hurricane Sandy, I don't even know when that was, it was many years ago, was hitting the New York tri-state area, and my parents were living there, and their house was, you know, overlooking the water, and I did grid work around their house for that hurricane, and it turned out their entire neighborhood was, every house on the block had thousands and thousands of dollars worth of flood and other forms of damage, and their house was completely untouched. After I saw that happen, I started doing it like with my house, everywhere I've ever lived, all the places I go. It's really powerful. But there's so many different kinds of grid work you can do. Like that's just one example and how it can help, right? So grid work's really fun. I also always teach muscle testing and kinesiology, which if you don't know what that is, dowsing, it's so great. And it's such a powerful tool to have and utilize, and really fun to use too. And of course, as I mentioned, we'll do lots of stargazing and ship gazing and orb gazing, at least one or two of the evenings. And we'll do this when we get into the agenda, the retreat agenda, but we spend in the evening on the mountain and in the dark. It's so fun. And of course, connecting with the star family races and ships. Shasta is notorious for having lots and lots of ship activity. And of course, we're merging with the powerful energies of the vortexes. We talked about this, and unifying with Gaia, Sophia, and all the nature realms and the elementals. There's a lot of dragon tribes and dragons there too that are coming through these gateways of Shasta. The dragons have kind of been dormant and asleep for many years, or at least they weren't making themselves available to us. But now they're becoming more and more available, and they are of the magical, mystical realm. But they are real. They do exist, just because we haven't been aware of them, right? So them and, you know, wildlife, majestic wildlife, just so much to connect with there. And of course, we'll be exploring places that are just off the beaten path, where few people go, few people even know exist, and most people only dream about. You will actually be there. And you'll be doing this with, you know, having heart-centered revelations. And of course, just I mentioned about receiving above and beyond your expectations. One thing I know about me and what I offer consistently is I always over-deliver. And you will receive way more than you can even begin to imagine. And the reason I say this is I've learned this about myself, and it's because I want people to receive the maximum benefits. And I want people to walk away being like, oh, off the charts. I'll be back in a minute. And in fact, most of the people right now who are registered, more than half of the people who are registered right now for this retreat, which by the way, right now is almost already sold, but more than half of them have joined me on one or more retreats. In fact, a few of them have been on 2 or 3 of my retreats. Some of them have come on both the Crystal, Sedona, and the Dolphin retreat. So people love the retreats. Like, they're awesome. And you really will emerge from this retreat with like, yes, relief, but pristine clarity, refreshed at a deep level and inspired through your own divine connection, really through this connection with primordial love. So I hope you will join us. All are welcome, regardless of where you are, even if some of this stuff sounds like a little too out there or woo-woo, or you don't identify. And I have plenty of people who don't identify with the term Indigo family tribe, or they don't necessarily identify as a starseed. They may not be a healer, but they're just they want to spiritually grow. That's fine. You know what I mean? You don't have to have one of these terminologies. Everyone's welcome, and I really pride myself on being very inclusive. All you really have to have is an open heart and an open mind, like a willingness, right? Everyone's invited. All are welcome. And of course, I've mentioned, overall, I want you to have an open mind. I want you to be desiring deep interconnection and desire to do the processing and healing, because that's what we're doing, right? So you can enjoy it, right? You want to connect to massively up level. You're choosing to massively up level and align with the new fifth dimensional paradigm and beyond. You want to transform and transcend all fear and all fear-based beliefs and belief systems. We don't need that anymore. Some people don't even know when they're living in fear. We don't need to live in fear. Like, even of fear that our animals can get bitten by a snake, for example. I met a woman the other day. We were walking and we stopped. She had a dog with her and I had a dog with me, and she started saying how afraid she was. She didn't use the word fear, but she was talking about how she's very careful to avoid snakes and the poisonous toads, and she doesn't walk at night, and she stays away from the drains, and she doesn't walk when it's rainy outside. And I'm thinking, wow, this woman's in so much fear, and she's not aware of it. And the reason people aren't really aware is because in her mind, she thinks she's just being safe. But in my paradigm, when you start realizing, like, we're just not having that experience, doesn't mean you be stupid. Doesn't mean you just jump into a place where you know there's snakes. But on the other hand, you get to walk free of that, and you just are in the knowing, like, that's not part of your reality, and that's not what you're creating, and you don't even give your energy to it. So anyway, it's for people who want to have more of that, right? And if you desire and choose more consciousness and more of a personal relationship with your own divine source, your own team, your own higher self, your own infinite, omnipresent, omnipotent, eternal ever being, right? These are all versions of you, because we're multidimensional beings with multidimensional aspects. So if you want to awaken more of that, this is the place. And if you want to really, participate in sacred community and communion with other beings like you, and be positively uplifted, well, then this is the retreat. This is what it's about. And you're going to learn high-frequency tools and techniques and rituals and wisdom that will truly assist you in breaking free. One of the women who came on the last retreat I did was really trying to create a career for herself. And she really learned, like, how to start using tools as a healer. She was very much playing small up until then. And she was really struggling to, step out of her own limitations. And after the retreat, she was like, I'm all in. She built her website. It was like 0 to 100. She started doing Facebook groups and healing sessions. And in fact, I had hired an assistant on one of my retreats in Arkansas. She came on the retreat 2 years in a row as one of my assistants. And when she started, she was like, I have no money, I have no job, I have no business, but I just feel so called. And she came as an assistant. And within the 2 years that she was working with me as my assistant, really learning from me as my assistant, she just started her own business doing DNA activations. Like, she absorbed so much from just being in the presence that she started leading retreats of her own and doing more of the DNA activations herself. This is how we accelerate in this kind of space. So, and some people just want to enjoy the travel and play with Mother Earth. And I have lots of tree huggers in my community, lots of vegans, lots of vegetarians, animal lovers who just want to commune and connect. That's great too. You're certainly welcome. Anyone who wants to really, get more into this and discover more of the greatness of who we are, you are welcome. We love having you. So let's go into the general itinerary, right? We meet up on Thursday. That's July 14th. And our meeting location is right in town. It's really beautiful, lovely space. And we gather at 6 p.m. for it's a potluck. So we have appetizer, buffet, everyone brings something, we get acquainted, we settle in. We start that evening setting space, sacred space, getting to know one another. And, we just start really connecting with one another. We circle up by 7 p.m. and we're just reviewing group agreements and setting sacred space, right? And making connection and getting to know one another in a safe space. Then the second day, which is Friday, from 10 to 12, we have morning group sessions where we do healing, channeling, transmuting, and learn practices and tools. We have a 12 to 2 p.m. break. So people go out and do lunch and have free time. And by the way, I'll tell you more about Shasta, but it's very small, right? And I'll talk more about the food as well, but let me just stay with the general itinerary flow for now. Then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., we meet up again. We have an outing each afternoon. We do that together. So the first day we go to City Park and the headwaters. I'll show you some pictures of this too, so you can see what it looks like. And we cleanse and purify in those beautiful waters. Those headwaters are basically the start of the Sacramento River. Very beautiful, pure water. And you get your water there to drink. Everyone fills up. It's water from the earth. Oh my God, incredible. And then we hike around there as well. And then we'll also do a visit that trip to nearby Hedge Creek Falls. Beautiful Hedge Creek Falls, really nice. Short, easy hikes. They're not hard, but they are so worth it. And I'll show you some more pictures of this. Then 5 to 7 p.m. is dinner and free time. And that includes, if anyone wants to go into town. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about the town. Then 7 o'clock, we do evening activities again, 7 to 10. We do sacred ritual, sacred energy healing, and we end with stargazing. For those of you who have been on retreats with me before or know me, it's I could go on, right? But I can go for a long time. So we get a lot out of it. These are very intensives, right? We're going for basically 12-hour days, but it feels so much energy that you have the energy. You're infused with energy the whole time. So day 3, very similar, right? That's Saturday, 10 to 2. Morning group sessions, 12 to 2, lunch and free time. 2 to 5 p.m., we have another outing. And on this day, we'll go up the mountain. We'll go to Ascension Rock, and we'll do some hiking and light transmissions, connecting with star family races and other dimensional beings, as we talked about, including the Telosians. Ascension Rock is a great spot. There's a picture in here, too, which I'll show you, for connecting with Telosians and starships as well. And that's really where vortex energies are really high. Again, I'll get into that when we get to the pictures. 5 to 7, you'll have a nice break time, free time, dinner time. Then 7 to 10, we have on Saturday the crystal singing bowls and the sound bath, which we talked about earlier. I love, love, love. If you haven't done a sound bath yet, game changer. You will love it. And then 10 p.m. evening concludes. On Sunday, the 17th, that's day 4, we have, again, 10 to 2 morning session, 12 to 2 lunch and free time, 2 to 5, we're doing another outing. So we'll be going to the Lake Siskiyou. And we'll enjoy a light hike around the lake. You can swim in that lake. It's really chilly but beautiful crystal lake. And there is a beach area there too. There's lots of beach area. So you will love that as well. And the trees and the nature. Oh my God. If you're like me and you're a tree hugger, oh my God, just incredible, right? And then of course, dinner time, 5 to 7, take a break. And then 7 p.m. we have evening activities again. And that's usually, we do another sacred ritual. Usually I do angeling, which is just loved by everyone. And then we finish off the evening around 10 p.m.-ish. And day 5, people who aren't staying for the extension will say goodbye in the morning. We'll do photo ops and final farewells with those departing. And then by 11 a.m., we will leave for our first outing, which is McLeod in McLeod Falls. Really cute little town, and the falls are spectacular. And we will have lunch together during our outing. We'll return somewhere between 5 and 7. You'll have a break. And then 7 p.m., we will circle up again. We may move that around a bit. So there's always flexibility, because if we stay longer in McLeod Falls, we may eat dinner there as a group. I think that sounds like a nice idea. I didn't put that in there before. But I think I would like to do that with the group if everybody wants to. And then Tuesday, the second day of our extension, we are going to the Gateway Peace Garden. Oh my God, so amazing. I will show you pictures of that. And then we'll also go to Castle Lake. Castle Lake is crystalline water. It is so pure. And there is a vortex like within the lake. So we'll have incredible energy and we'll experience altered states of consciousness. And when you get into these altered states of consciousness, like, yeah, your whole body energy field gets purified. Oh, it's just incredible, right? And then, of course, dinner and then evening completions. And then Wednesday is the final farewells, right? Final farewells and checkout. By the way, all of these pages, I mentioned this earlier, you can click on the link, but it's also at lauriespagna.com. Under the live events tab, you see Magical Mystical Mount Shasta Sacred Retreat. So there's some extracurricular activities too. While we're visiting these remote destinations that only exist on other people's bucket lists, you will be experiencing them firsthand. Yeah, lots of swimming in the different lakes. Like, there's a few lakes around in rivers. There's plenty of hiking and visiting different mountain spots. There is so much nature and the greenery and the richness and the lushness. Also, you learn about all the hot spots very quickly and easily because the town is very small. I'll show you and explain that a little more too. But lots to do. There's lots of crystal stores. There are so many fun tourist shops, really cute, like high vibe consciousness stores, high vibe consciousness clothing. It's just, the stores are all really fun and cute. Everything's very walkable. It's a small little town. Plenty of time for reading and journaling and resting and relaxing, of course. Plenty of time for meditating and socializing. There's lots of great dining, especially outdoor. There's an outdoor dining all along the main street. You can eat outside or inside. And it's cool in the evenings and pleasant. The weather is very cool and pleasant in the summer. Not cold, but just lovely. And so it's nice to eat outside. And of course, there's spa services in the local businesses, and you can get plenty of private sessions, either with me or, local. There's lots of local readers and healers as well, if you want to try that too. And just lots of discussions and group activities, right? If you're ready for this, if you're really ready to fully embrace the love that you are and open up to receiving it within the core of your being and awakening it from within you and really giving yourself a gift like this, you are in the right place. Like, this is your time to live in the new paradigm, and this is the way we do it. Really stepping into the most benevolent, best version of ourselves. It's time for you to really embrace the love that you are. It is time for all of us, and to really live in the new paradigm where we experience life in a whole new way, free, liberated, sovereign, in joy, in love, free of fear, free of anxiety, living our best lives. All right, so accommodations. When you register, we send you a welcome kit with all the details of everything. But generally speaking, each participant is responsible for their own accommodations. And there's lots of wonderful accommodations in Shasta. Also, the nearby town, just a little bit south, is Dunsmuir, and just a little bit north is Weed. And these are easy drives to Shasta. They're both like within 10-minute drive, and beautiful drives, scenic, and so really close. So there's plenty of Airbnbs and hotels and vacay rentals. And the only thing is you want to book early as you can, of course, for better rates, etc., and for more choice. But once you get in and you register, we send you a welcome kit, lots of links to lots of the different places. And just in terms of meals, people do ask, you do the meals on your own or with other participants. Most of my community, more than half of my community, tends to be either vegan and or vegetarian, but they all organic. Almost everybody in my community is health food oriented. That's usually pretty common in our community. And I just want to say there is a store that I love in Shasta. It's called Berryville. It's a grocery and cafe, and they have like green juices and raw food, everything healthy, organic, all natural. It's a fun store with lots of, consciousness stuff. It's like a much more progressive version of Whole Foods, way more progressive and healthy. And everything you need is in there. But there's lots of grocery stores that are not as, if you like the mainstream foods. But yeah, I love Berryville. And it's a cool, fun place to hang out too. They have pre-made sandwiches and all kinds of stuff there too. So yeah, you don't have to worry that you're not going to have food that you like or healthy food. Because yeah, we all love healthy food in my community typically. Our retreat space is an awesome space. It's all new and renovated. It's like, these are some pictures if you can see them hopefully. It's like in its own space of woods, plenty of parking. It has its own kitchen, which is really nice. And it has little breakout rooms too for us, and then our main room that we'll be in. And it's just a perfect spot for us. I just was so guided. Everything with this just fell into place. Like my assistant, the space, it's a beautiful, adorable, perfect location for us. And it's right in town, right in the center of town. And yet really like off, looks like it's right tucked away in the woods at the same time. And in terms of transportation information, of course, you're responsible for your own transport, booking your own flights and stuff. But again, once you register, we send you a welcome kit that tells you everything you need. And we do a pre-event gathering by webinar. So people who want to carpool or meet up at the airport or, just to get to know one another and set our intention, we do a pre-event webinar. And we set the stage, but I do help with carpooling if people need it. But in any case, the major airports that are closest to Mount Shasta are either Redding, Medford, Oregon, or Sacramento. You can also do San Francisco. That's not on there. But those airports, they're still pretty far from Mount Shasta. In other words, like Redding, 70 miles. Medford is 95 miles. Sacramento is 220 miles. So you'll need a rental car. And again, I facilitate if people want to carpool. That's very possible. And just so you know what's included in the retreat, all the group sessions, all the tutorials, all the group healings, all the group downloads and activations, all the ritual, all the ceremony, all the circles, all the healing transmissions, all the channeling, all the group discussions, all the group events we do, the singing bowl sound bath, that's included, the candlelight ceremonies, sacred energy healing, all of our shared magic, everything that we do together as a group basically is included. We do the snacks and appetizers. That's more like we all bring it, potluck style, and we share it. And for our Thursday evening and anything that's, left over and brought for sharing, everything that you need to feel loved, valued, honored, supported, accepted, and appreciated and taken care of within our group. That's all included. That's the retreat. Now, what's not included, just so you know, airfare, as I mentioned, your flights to and from, the transportation, your lodging, that's up to you, and your meals, your dine-out meals when we're not together as a group. And again, there's Berryville Grocery, and then there's the regular grocery stores, and there's lots of cute little places in town. I'll tell you a bit more of that when we get to the pictures. And anything you do on your own, extra excursions, or if you do private one-on-one sessions, extra gifts, souvenirs, etc., that stuff you purchase yourself, obviously. It's pretty obvious for what I just say. And then travel insurance. I say that it's important to get travel insurance. Like if you have to cancel, especially because I lay out, securing the spot and all the organization and my assistants, and if you have to cancel, the travel insurance reimburses that for you. So I do ask you to get that. And that's in the welcome kit. I've worked with a couple of different travel insurance companies over the years that I have found incredibly reliable, affordable, no questions asked. They just give you a refund if you have to cancel. So this way you're covered. I'd like to make sure people get refunds if they need it for whatever reason. Like if I was to cancel, that's different. But if you're canceling, you want to make sure you're not going to have any issues. Okay, so I just want to show you some pictures here. This is the headwaters. And the lower left-hand picture, there's a woman filling up her water there, right? Like there's all kinds of people at the headwaters filling up their water. And the water is so pure and yummy and clear, mineral rich. Oh, my goodness, so good. And that park is a really cool and hip place, really fun and interesting and dynamic and gorgeous. And there's just some great hiking trail, like easy, great, walking trails along. And of course, it's very commonly known about these vortexes and the light that comes in. And these are just some of the pictures that are very typical on the mountain. Here's the town. It's so cute and quaint. It's like literally just a few streets. Very easy to walk the whole town. And I mean, it's got all the cute, hippie, high vibe kind of stores that you love, right? And it's just, I love the town. And it has everything you need. It's got grocery, but it's small, but it's got an Ace hardware. It's, everything you need. And lots of cute, quaint restaurants too. Very quaint. And this is one of the places we'll be going to, Ascension Rock. This is notorious for activation energies. The picture in the middle is me with my dog, whose name is Shasta, by the way. I named her after Mount Shasta before I ever visited Mount Shasta, by the way. I named her Mount Shasta because I just felt so kindred spirit with the energy of Mount Shasta. And when I went looking for my dog, like in the non-physical, and I was asking for a name, that's what she gave me. She gave me that name, and she told me she was going to be a spiritual connector for me. Connector of relationships, friendships, community, and tribe. And she has been. She really has been. Anyway, okay, so yeah, that's Ascension Rock, and we will definitely be going there. For the group that does the extension, we're going to go there at night as well as daytime because it's two different experiences. Really awesome. And here's the Lake Siskiyou. And this trail is incredible. That bridge in the lower right-hand corner, we crossed that bridge. It's so gorgeous. It is incredible and just really fun. Just so lovely. And then the greenery is just off the charts. It's just, nature is thriving there. Like these pictures are pictures I took with my camera. They're just, I mean, incredible. And here's the Peace Garden, Gateway Peace Garden. This is the labyrinth in the middle. You'll see another picture of this in the next slides. But this Gateway Peace Garden is really fun and just, I mean, there's just, I don't know how to describe it. I'll show you some pictures from it. Here's the labyrinth in the Gateway Peace Garden. You can see me walking there. That's the picture on the right. And that's my dog, little Shasta, Emma Shasta. Oh, she's also in the left picture too. And they have all these little, little altars. It's really just incredible. I have tons of pictures from there, but I just put in a few. So we will walk the labyrinth, of course. This is Hedge Creek Falls. And just, it's so cool to stand under the falls. You stand under them. They're just really cool. Short, easy walks too. Easy access. And now this for the extension is Castle Lake, crystalline lake. Oh my God. Incredible. And we will swim in it. That's the extension, right? And then McLeod Falls. We will swim in that too. And swimming's optional, of course. The hike and the falls are gorgeous. And again, this is the extension. And of course, as always on my retreats, well-behaved animals are welcome. I bring my Emma Shasta with me everywhere, and you are welcome to bring your well-behaved animals. We love animals. They're part of our tribe. They're our brothers and sisters too, in a different form. So let me go over the fair energy exchange for this retreat. And I know you know this, but this is really about investing in you, your life, your soul's journey, and your evolution. So the regular rate of this retreat is $1,444. That's the regular retreat. At the moment of this recording, right now, there's still a discounted rate where you can save $111. That's about to increase. So if it's increased, I'm sorry. The fair energy exchange rate of 1,444 stands. And yeah, that is the rate. And it is worth it. It is worth so much more because, again, as I mentioned before, I way over-deliver. And I love over-delivering because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to be like, I gave so much more value than what I charged. Because then I know this should be a no-brainer for people. Really, it should be a no-brainer, in my opinion. It's going to be so much fun and so powerful and worth way more. And everyone who comes on my retreats always says it. In fact, you can go to YouTube and just look at all the testimonials of people who have been on my retreats. I'll put some of those in my newsletter. I didn't put them in this presentation. I could have. I didn't think of it. But person after person talks about the incredibleness of the retreats that they come on with me and how much fun they have and how much they learn and grow and how much they get so much more than they even imagined. People talk about how they thought they were caught on bottom reason and then they realized they dug into their soul and transformed forever. Anyway, so that's the regular rate. If you're lucky enough, you might get that 111 savings. The final payment, if you want to hold your space, you can do a deposit of $744. Again, there could be right now a slightly reduced rate of $697 to hold your space, in which case you would save a bit. And then the final payment is due on June 14th, a month before the retreat. Then you can pay the full amount of the $144 and save. You save money when you do it that way. Either way, it's totally worth it. Above and beyond. The optional extra stay is $444 for the optional extra stay. That alone is so worth it. If you pay it before June 14th. After June 14th, that rate goes up $111 to $555. And final payment for the retreat is due by June 14th, but the extension, sometimes people decide later. And so we just give incentives for them to get the payment in by June 14th. Right now, as I mentioned, there might still be a savings of $111. If it's there, grab it now. If it's not there, the rate stands because it's worth way more than what I'm charging. Yeah, I was telling this story recently. First of all, when I put this retreat together, I did explore other prices of other retreats and, you know, what else is out there. And I mean, I've been doing retreats for a long time, as I mentioned. And, you know, there's a retreat that I recently saw that the woman charged $5,000 for 5 days, and their retreat is from 9 to 5, not even the evenings, and didn't include dinner and didn't include housing or transportation. You know, so they run the gamut. You know, if you go for a retreat in like a health and healing center, like the Hippocrates Institute, for example, they charge $10,000 for a week. For a week, a retreat on their property, all inclusive, of course. But I'm just saying, like, this is really fair energy exchange, and way worth, way more than I'm asking for. So, in the value of the retreat is just goes way above and beyond, will far exceed the fair energetic exchange. I do want to say this retreat is almost sold out, and it sold out very quickly because it really was divinely guided and divinely led for it to be done. It was meant to be, and people are being called there. And So I hope you will join us now before it's sold out. Once it's sold out, spots are going, gone. And again, every one of these slides should have the link just by pressing it to the website where you can register us. But again, it's at lauriespagna.com. Under the live events tab, you'll see the listing for the Magical Mystical Mount Shasta retreat. I want to say one other thing. P.S. Your future self will thank you for it. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you've ended up somewhere in your life. You've had something where you are somewhere and you're like, how did I get here? Like, how is this my experience right now? And that usually happens when somebody isn't taking advantage of the opportunities that the universe is presenting. But one thing I can say is that one of the best things I have ever done for myself is these kinds of retreats. And my current self, a lot of times thanks my past self. Like I do a lot of times thank my past self so much for organizing these retreats, for attending them, for going to these places, because they have enriched my life. And to me, like the worst thing in the world that can ever happen is that I die on my deathbed with either regrets or feeling that I lived a life unfulfilled. To me, that's the worst thing that could probably happen to anyone, in my mind. And this is one of those things where your future self is like going to be like, thank you for doing that. Thank you so much for doing that. That's how I feel about all the retreats I've organized and participated in. It's like, thank you. And I want to ask you, like, where do you want to be in 6 months from now? You know, where do you want to be? How do you want to be living your life? How do you want to be feeling about yourself? How do you want to be feeling about, you know, the life you're living and what you're doing and what you've experienced? I have a friend here in Florida who I've known for many years, and she came on the Crystal Retreat. And now she's looking at me. Since the Crystal Retreat, she's kind of followed me on Facebook, and, you know, we've been on and off again in touch. And she's like, Laurie, I want to do what you did for the past 2 years. I want to go on the road and travel across country. And she's like, I haven't done anything like that in so long. I've just been sitting here in Florida. And I mean, she came on the Crystal Retreat. Her life changed from that. She started going to Australia and other countries. But like in the last couple of years, she started playing, you know, the sit down, sit home game, you know, of lockdown or whatever. And she kind of was watching me travel the country. And she's like, I want to do what you're doing. And honestly, it's so funny because she's going to be back in Mount Shasta this summer, because as it turns out, she's like doing it. And this is the kind of thing, this is what inspires you. Like, what inspires you? Where do you want to be? How do you want to look at your life? You know, you don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to not take action. You don't want to end up in 6 months like in the same old place. You want to actually like take action and do something where your future self will be like, thank you so much. I love that you did that. And I live my life like that. I'm like, thank God. Thank my past self for all the work she did to get me here. And now I'm like, I want my future self to be like thanking my now self for where I get her to as well. And that includes participating in events like this. Creating community and a life that I am going to just, you know, when I'm done, I'm going to be like, whew, that was all worth it. I would do it again. That's how I want to go out. That was all worth it. I would do it again. Okay. All right. So at the time of this recording, you know, you might not be on the call with me live, but if you still have questions and I haven't addressed them all, please feel free to email or go to the website at lauriespagna.com on the contact page, or else email us direct at support@lauriespagna.com, and we will do our absolute best to respond to you as quickly as possible and answer any questions that may still be remaining. Of course, it is really with the deepest love, divine excitement and enthusiasm, and eager anticipation I am inviting you to join us for this magical, mystical, sacred Mount Shasta retreat, Thursday, July 14th through Monday, July 19th. And with the extension, July 19th, Monday, July 19th through Wednesday, July 21st. That's coming up this year. And you go over to lauriespagna.com. Under the live events tab, you will see Magical, Mystical, Mount Shasta Sacred Retreat. I promise you, it will be so much of what you're wanting, desiring, like loving in life, and even better. And the community, the tribe, everything, you will just be blown away by how fabulous it is. I know with the whole of my being how much you are going to love it, because I have been leading retreats now for 10 years. And this is like consistently over and over again what every retreat participant says is how fabulous it is, how much more they got out of it than they ever imagined, and that they will come back, and that they come back to my retreats over and over again, and you will too. And I'm so excited to have you. And if I don't know you already, I'm so excited to meet you and to share sacred space with you and to really welcome you into this tribe, and that we are all members of the Indigo family tribe, awakening, enlightening ourselves together, and creating heaven on earth together, and sharing and up-leveling our vibration together, and improving the quality of life, significantly improving life on earth for humanity, for ourselves, for one another, and for the whole of humanity, including the animals and Gaia Sophia herself. So with the deepest love and heartfelt excitement, enthusiasm, and joyful anticipation, I look forward to having you join us in Magical, Mystical Mount Shasta for our sacred retreat this year. Please join us. Head over to lauriespagna.com under the live events tab and join us now, and make sure you do it quickly because there's only a few spots left. All right, guys, I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm so excited to meet you in person and see you in Mount Shasta. With all my heart, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you and to you, and I'm signing off for now. I'm sending you all my love. Until next time. Okay. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.